Oh yeah, we are back. Yes, yes. It's Thursday. I'm just creaming up my hands, putting on some lotion because I just washed my hands. I finished breakfast. It's Thursday. I'm happy. It's the last week of school. So that means from next week going on, we have 6 weeks of summer holiday. I'm gonna fix my home, make sure everything is in order, have fun with the children, work on the sisterhood, work on the club, on the website, the newsletter, and all that stuff. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the weeks that are coming up. Of course, also pressure because I'm here with 4 children, but I'm gonna have fun with them. I already planned some play dates with some girls from school and their mother, so we're gonna picnic and just gonna have a great time. Hopefully you are enjoying your summer holiday if you are already in the summer holiday swing, because this is international, so that means some countries already have summer holiday. I know for us here in the Netherlands, Amsterdam has been having summer holidays for already 2 weeks. So Utrecht is coming up, upcoming week. I'm having a great time. I'm having fun. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good. People can see it in my appearance. I'm getting compliments left and right. Yesterday I was just riding the bike, picking up my daughters from their play dates, and I saw a woman walking with her stroller with her baby boy, and I just passed by, didn't say anything, just smiled kindly but didn't really say anything. And I went to pick up my daughter, but she wasn't at that place. She was at another place. So I turned around and then I saw the same lady. And then she said, "Wow, you look so amazing." I'm like, "Oh, that's the lady I saw 5 minutes ago." So she really wanted to make sure that I knew that I looked good. And a few hours later, when I picked up my daughter at another place, I saw one of the school moms and she's like, "You always look good." I'm like, "I do my best." She said, "You can tell. You never miss." So I'm so grateful that people notice that it's not only the makeup, because it really is not the makeup. It's just the whole demeanor, because your makeup can be beautiful, but if you have a sour face, if you look grumpy, if you are closed off, that will also diminish what you did with your makeup. You need to look good, but you also match your attitude and you smile and you just radiant. You project just beautifulness to the world. You are radiant, you are glowy, you shine, you project light and love, laughter, joy. And I think that is what people see more so than the makeup or the hair. It's more so the light that I carry. So I hope that it shines through here in the club and that you really are drawn to me with just positivity and love, joy, and just add to the group. 1 second, I'm going to see what my baby girl needs because I can hear her in the background and I think you do too. So let me check on her for a second and then I will be back. She's fine. She just wanted to be repositioned because she was sitting on the floor and she was like, "Mommy, I don't want to do that anymore." But I did a little exercise for myself, and maybe you can do this as well. It's not an assignment, but you can make this exercise. I do not have sisters, like blood sisters. It's my mom, then I, and then my younger brother. I never had a sisterhood or that great bond with my mother. And I believe that we were raised to be more masculine, so we have a lot of masculine traits, meaning the betrayal, the competition, comparing one another, and which makes it hard for you to see the beauty in somebody else because you're constantly critiquing one another, seeing what that person is doing wrong, what they could do better, criticizing, being angry, resentful, all that stuff. And that I think that is more something men have towards one another. When it comes to sisterhood, you can really not use these traits because you will not see the beauty in your sister. You will also not see the beauty in yourself because you will be criticizing yourself. You will always look negatively towards yourself. So I have changed a lot because now I'm in my feminine. I can see the beauty in other women. I see the beauty in myself. I don't feel I have to compare. I understand that this is who I am. And there's a sister out there for me that can help me because she has different skills. She brings something else to the table and we all coexist together. So I made a little exercise for myself. I started writing down the word sister and what it means to me. I wrote it in a notebook, but I also have it here on my phone. So you can do this as well because this is what a sister or sisterhood means to me. And it can be totally different for you because you've been raised with a lot of sisters. You already have the sense of love for other women. You can see the value in other women. You know how to work with other women. You know how to collaborate with other women. That is very new for me. I did have friends, female friends, but I think we were all, let me just say not all, but I didn't see them as equals. I was just there. I don't even know how I thought about my friendship, to be honest. We were a group. We worked together when it comes to school projects and stuff like that. But I don't really know how I saw or viewed that friendship because I really enjoyed being with them. I loved talking to them. They made my school experience so much better. We had so much fun. We were laughing. But as I got older and started dating my husband, things changed. But also way before that, I didn't feel comfortable sharing a lot of things with them. And I felt that they didn't share a lot of things, maybe not with me, because it was a group that was, it was already, I think, an existing group. And I came later because they already knew each other from another school. Let me just say, two of the girls were sisters. They were twins. They went to separate schools, and in the separate schools, they met their own friends. These friends became friends with the whole group. Of course, two sisters, when there are birthdays, when they have gatherings, they all come together. I just came when they all transferred to another school where I also went to. We became friends, but they already had their core group, and not every one of the core group was in the school which I attended. I think were 3 other girls from the core group that attended the school I went to. So we also grew a little bond, but they knew each other from, I don't know, maybe they were 12. I came in when I was 16. So I felt like a whole part of their life I didn't know, I didn't understand. And later when I started telling something that I was dealing with my first boyfriend, I started to know, oh, so you went through this. I didn't know you experienced this. Why didn't you tell me? I thought I was the only one. Let's say, for instance, when the first time I got intimate with my boyfriend, I thought I was the only one in the group that lost their virginity. Come to find out that I was not the first. I was like, You didn't tell me. I didn't know. So I don't know what type of friendship that was, if it was really genuine or wasn't my energy. I don't know what it was, but I always felt a little bit off, and in every friend group that were just girls, I always felt like I didn't belong there. There were always family members which were friends and I just came along, or they were all living in the same neighborhood so they had the same experiences, or they had mutual friends and I just came, along. So it was, I didn't know how to view being friends with women. There were also a lot of backstabbing. Sometimes I felt like they were gossiping, so I felt something was off, or they were mean towards me, or even I maybe engaged in being negatively about the other one. So I never felt safe around women, and also because I didn't experience it at home. I didn't feel like I have a sisterhood with my mom, which basically is your mentor and you are the mentee. I never felt safe with my mentor. I felt like she built on me, so I had to figure stuff out by myself. It's okay, it's not, but I have accepted it because it made me who I am today. But it also tainted the way I looked at other women. And I think it's okay because now that I'm older, I can set the rules and the standards of how I want a sisterhood to be, which I'm teaching my daughters. This is how you sisters should behave amongst one another. You should make the rules. You should agree upon it. You should shake hands or give each other a hug and keep your word. And this is the hard part because they are still very young. But I think you should learn it from a younger age, that you should keep your word. If you say you're not going to do something, or you say you're going to do something, that you really stick to that word. And I'm happy that I've reached that point, that I can see the beauty in women, and that I've decided to have a sisterhood where we have these rules or this culture of how we should treat one another and how we should value one another. So I just made just a small exercise just to train myself. Basically, it's almost like therapeutic to see how do you view women, how do you value yourself, and to see where you have come from and where you are going. So I said, what is a sister? It was inspired by, I wanted to do an exercise with my children about money and show them, a banknote, and to show them or to ask them, what is this? And just mention things that come to your mind when you see money. Is it a tool to pay? Is it to invest? Is it to save? So I was like, if I can do that with money, because I want to grow my relationship with money, because of culture, your parents, you've learned what money is, but money is so much more, and you can do so much more with money. So I was doing this exercise for myself, but also with my daughters, and I said, I can also do this with what is a sister. So that's what inspired it. And I said a sister could be by blood, meaning you are siblings, you come from the same parents, but it can also be a friend that becomes a sister, somebody you love, trust, value, reach out for when it comes to decisions, advice, life support. You can become sisters through marriage, meaning in-laws. You marry your husband and he has sisters, and she becomes a friend, she becomes a sister. So it could be that your husband's siblings or sisters become your sisters, or your brother marries a woman who has sisters and those become your sisters. So that can also be a possibility. You can also have a sister through a sorority group, through college or university. And of course, there are more ways. So if you want to add to it, please add to it. These are just the things that came to my mind. But you can also be sisters through support group. Kind of what we have, a support group or similar interest. And what I believe that a sisterhood is a place where you can feel, or with a sister, this is the type of culture I would imagine it to be if I would have sisters. It would be no competition. We could be honest with one another. We wouldn't gossip about one another, because nowadays I find gossip so tacky. And back in the day, I didn't think anything of it. Of course, you talk about somebody's back negatively. But now, I think ever since I started this sisterhood, or even some time before that, I find it so tacky. But because I find, instead of gossiping about somebody, train your mind to think, how can I help this person? For instance, somebody's house is unkept. I can say, girl, have you seen her house? She needs to go clean her house. But I can also say, can I offer to help you? I've seen that you're going through a hard time. Your house, I'm not used to seeing you with an unkept home. Can I help you? Can I offer my services? Can I offer to watch your children so that you can, clean your home or something? So I'm just thinking of ways how to be of service to that person, instead of gossiping about their finances, their home, or whatever. And that is what you would do if somebody was your sister, right? You wouldn't talk bad about your own sister. You would say, how can I help you? I tell my daughters all the time, instead of saying, but yeah, Kemi didn't do that, yeah, Amali didn't do that. I was like, how can you help Amali or Kemi? And I really tell Kemi, because she is the oldest, so I tell her, you need to offer your services to your sister. If you see she's struggling with something, let's say she didn't wash her hands because she cannot reach the faucet, help her instead of criticizing her. Help her. That is how you become a good sister. That is how you become a leader. That's how you become responsible. And that is what God wants to see from you. It's not to put people down. And in the household where I grew up, I've heard my mom gossip about people, and it makes it so easy for your children to catch that behavior and do the same thing. And I don't want my children to have that, because it's not a good thing. You should always try to help somebody. I always even tell my husband, with his line of work that he's doing online, I'm like, it's easy to criticize. It's really easy to sit on your phone and criticize what somebody else is doing or not doing. But how can you offer to help them? I think that's a better way to be than to say, look at him or look at her, they're not doing their relationship right. No, what can they do to make it better? Because maybe they lack understanding. Maybe they, just don't see it. They are just not aware of their behavior. And I told him this morning, this is the work that you're doing online. It's not an easy job talking about relationships. You're going against so many barriers. People have traumas. People have beliefs. People have limited beliefs. People have culture. There are so many things you're fighting up against. And you cannot just come online to say you're doing this wrong, you should do this, you should do that, because you're really going up against the wall. You have to change your lingo in order to reach people, and you cannot do that by judging them. So when it comes to a sisterhood, I think it should be free of judgment. And these are not easy practices. These are hard practices because it became so normal to us to judge one another, to criticize one another, to be jealous of one another, to gossip, to put somebody down. But I believe if you want to have a real good and healthy relationship with your sister, but also with yourself, because at the end of the day, you are a female, you should also look at yourself without any judgment, which is hard, but I practice this every day, telling myself, you're doing good, you could not do everything today, but you will do that better tomorrow. And learn upon, seek information, seek help where you can seek help, and improve. And I think that's how I see a sister. Somebody to have fun with, to talk with, to be vulnerable with, to grow with as well, which is very important. We should not stay in one place. We should grow. We should also challenge one another. And challenging, like I'm just giving you a challenge. Do this exercise by yourself. That's a challenge. To think about, what does it mean to have a sister? What does it mean? How would life look without sisters, without women around you? Would you want to live your life with only men around you? Because there are a lot of women, like they gravitate more to being with guys, even more guy friends. I know my mom prefers to work with a male boss, but do we know why? Because she also feels like women cannot handle all this stuff. Women cannot do this. Women complain. Women. But I'm like, you are a female. You don't deal with all these things. So why could your boss, why couldn't she be female? Why would you think that she cannot handle it? Why would you think she would be emotional? Why would you think that she will be focused? I'm coming right back. Hold that. These things somebody taught us. We didn't think of these things by ourselves. Because if somebody says that about your sister, they're basically saying this also about you. If you say that a female cannot lead or cannot run a company, that means you can also not do it. And that is where the limited beliefs start. I think we should think, and you have a choice. I do not want to run XYZ or whatever. That is your choice. If you don't want to run that because you'd rather be a housewife. But that doesn't mean you cannot do it, because that the only way you can achieve it if you put your mind to it, because it's being done. There are so many female entrepreneurs that they run million or billion euro, dollars, pounds, yen companies. So I think it's very important to what do we say about ourselves, because you're saying it about your sister, and what you say about your sister is also what you tell yourself. If you tell yourself you can never be slim or skinny if you have children, that means you will not achieve it, because there are a lot of women out here that show us that they have multiple children but they still look great. So important is not to gossip, to see how you can serve. Instead of gossiping, show what you can do. And that is what I did with this club. Instead of complaining or being overlooked or not finding the right friends or complaining about my friends because they're just not living the same lifestyle as I, Instead of doing that, what can I do to fulfill my dreams and my needs? Start your own club. Find new friends. Add to the friend group you already have. You don't have to discard the friends you have. Just add new friends in that might fulfill your needs, that might be on the same path that you are, that can help you grow in a manner that your own friends cannot because they just live a different lifestyle. You have to create your own world. You have to make sure that you get out of life what you need. I need new friends. I love to learn from other women. I wasn't like that a few years. Absolutely. After a few years ago, I was not like this. I had a total different mindset. To be honest, quite negative as well, because I was dealing with so many men throughout my life and then finding my husband who has a total different worldview than I have. He thinks as a male, and not even as a male. He thinks how he thinks. I think as how I think. I'm a female. I have a different experience. But because I'm surrounded by him so much, you just take his habits, his way of thinking. And at one point, a few years ago, I started to shake that off. I don't want to be like this. I don't like the results that I'm getting from taking your mindset on. This is not the life I want. It pushes people away. And I want people to come in. I want to have friends. I want to have fun with other females. So I had to shake that off. And I'm happy I did, because now I can come here and I can just be vulnerable and say, I need females in my life. I need feminine energy. I love that. And I'm just happy that I'm here and that I'm doing it. So this is a little exercise you can do for yourself and see how you view it, and just state in the comments below, because I might learn from you. You might be more experienced with women. I think it's fun that you can travel with other women, go to different countries, and it doesn't have to be a very far or long travel. It can be right here in Europe, but just to have fun for a few days, get away from the children, just having nice tea and coffee and breakfast, going to dinner, maybe go to a museum here and there, shop a little bit, because I don't feel like I want to do these things with my husband anymore. I just want to separate these things. That's my husband. I love him. I love the things we do together. But when it comes to shopping and doing that kind of stuff, I'd rather do that with women. As I get older, I just want to separate certain things. And I do have friends, but like I said, they live different lifestyles. So I want to make new friends that can teach me, oh, let's go to Spain. This is a great place where you can shop antiques, or let's go to Italy, France, it doesn't matter. So I'm just here to network, to socialize, and just to do different stuff. Just to be clear, this group is for all housewives. So I think that's beautiful, because you might connect with more women that are similar to you, or you might connect with other women. It doesn't mean that you all have to be in beauty, you all have to be into cooking, or you all have to be into fashion or culture, let's say museum. You might be a housewife that's into gardening and doesn't like makeup at all. We can all learn from you. We can all grow. You might be into books. I might not be a very big book reader, but because you are here in the club and you're like, these are the books that are nice, fun, I might try these books. So don't think, oh, she looks like a makeup girly. I don't want to come into the group, or I have somebody I know, but she's might be a little bit intimidated because she might not be into makeup. It does not matter. We are just all housewives. That is what connects us. And the toppings those are just extra. And it's also good to be connected with women that are not like you or don't share the similar interests as you, because you can learn. You can learn. Maybe you don't want to do makeup every day, but I know there are events that you have to go to, weddings, christenings, maybe, you know, eat or those things. And it's nice if you have people in the group that can teach you to do a basic makeup look that you can, you know, work and then go to your events. Or maybe you are not a great gardener, but maybe there's somebody here in the group that can give you tips on low maintenance gardening tips. So we are all welcome, but I think it's very important to surround yourself with women that live a similar lifestyle, because we don't come across each other as often as working women. So it's important that you build your own community, your own little group of women that you can fall back on. I think it's important because I see what it does for me. And I haven't seen you yet, but already your presence really makes me better, makes me want to do better, makes me want to push harder. So that is a positive thing in my life, because it's so easy to fall back, to slip, to lose sight, to lose discipline, to stop caring because nobody else around you cares. I think that is so dangerous. Because when I feel like my husband isn't doing his best, my friends are not doing their best, my neighbors, the people at school, if we all just let it slide, it's so easy just to drop the ball and drop the standard. And there are just, you have to have gatekeepers. You have to have people that keep the bar high and give you something to work towards, to challenge yourself, to push yourself, because that stuff keeps you alive. It keeps you, you know, yeah, it gives you energy. Even though it's intimidating, it is for the better. I really believe that. So I want to keep surrounding myself with housewives, even the housewives that are way surpassed my level. The women that are up here, not because they have money, but they are more put together. They have the house more in order. They're more organized. They have, their stuff just together. It intimidates me, but I'm grateful that I can connect with women that even my presence can draw women like that in. So that is a opportunity for me to elevate myself. I'm just drawing people in, and this will elevate me to a next level, because this gives me opportunity to grow, to ask questions, to learn more, to be a little sister to a big sister, because that's also something I wrote down. Sisterhood is also about big sister, little sister. Know when you are in a big sister position, and know when you should be in a little sister position, meaning where you should be in a position of learning and be in a position of submission. But you should also know when to be a big sister, where you have to take on a leader role, where you should be the responsible one, the one that takes charge. So that is also what a relationship between sisters is, just knowing when to gear. And I love that. I can also be a big sister because I might have certain experience here and there, but I love to be a little sister and to learn and to grow and to listen and to feel comfortable, because I know I have somebody watching my back. When all these years I felt like I always had to be the big sister, I always had to figure it out, didn't know what the heck I was doing, because like I said, my mom didn't really understand the concept of being a mom and being a mentor. So her way of mentoring me was just to let me go, meaning just figure it out, because that is how she grew up. Her mom was like, figure it out. And she figured it out. But it was okay. I turned out great. But for my children and for the people who are connected to me, I just don't want to let them go. I would want to be present in their process, in their journey. And I also am a big believer of letting go, because I can see it with my husband. He doesn't like it when my children go on play dates, and I know there are a lot of parents that think similarly. And he thinks it's love to protect them and to keep them at home. I love them. And my concept of love is letting go. Of course, you want your children with you, but you don't want to keep them hostage. You don't want them to not go out and experience, create their own relationships, figuring out how to socialize and network, to express themselves, to create new friendships, new experiences, to speak up for themselves, to ask questions. And that is what they learn when they go out there. When they go play with somebody, they have to ask their friends' mothers or fathers, hey, can I go to the bedroom? Can I have some drink? Can I have something else to eat or whatever? You should learn these things. But if you keep your children sheltered and you keep them inside, they will never feel comfortable, or they don't learn the skill of asking or to know what they are comfortable with. I think it's important. So I'm more like, I let them go. I teach them, when you go to people's home, don't be ringing the bell all the time, because they have friends coming over there. And these girls, I'm sorry, but their parents didn't teach them basic rules. Even though your friends live here, they live with their parents. They ring my doorbell like crazy. They knock on, they start my mailbox. The flap from the mailbox, they keep on flapping it, because you don't know if I'm asleep, or one of the children is asleep, or my husband is asleep. One time is enough. I've hurt you. They just come in, even though we're saying, oh, we are having breakfast, come back later. They just barge in. And I tell them all the time, girls, I don't know what their parents are doing, but I am telling you, when you go to people, their houses, don't do what they do. One time, ring the bell one time. If nobody answers, walk away. Don't step into people's homes unless you are invited. Unless they ask you to come in, do not come in. And I'm only talking about friends. If your friends say, oh, come in, let's play inside, only friends. And I'd rather you just not enter their home. Just stay outside, play outside. We have a play garden right in front of the home. These girls, their parents don't teach them. And it's sad to see, because sometimes I feel so awkward, because I'm irritated. I'm like, why are you just walking up in my home when I just told you we are busy? I am busy. And it's putting me in a hard position, because sometimes I don't even know their parents, and I've been living there for almost 3 years, and the fact that I don't know your parents says something about your parents. I've never seen them, or I saw them but they never said hi. So it makes it more difficult for me to tell you what I really want to tell you, because if I knew the parents, I would say, oh, by the way, your daughter comes here all the time, but maybe you can tell her, ring the bell one time. I'm telling these children, but still they forget. These are children. So it's hard, but that is where you have to step into the big sis role. And I have to say, my oldest daughter, she's doing a great job, because sometimes me and my husband ask her, or my husband and I are asking her hard things to do, because these are your friends. Tell her that you're not coming outside if you don't want to play, or tell her you come later. Tell her she cannot come in. And sometimes she gets it, and sometimes she's really struggling because these girls are persistent. So it's also about learning when to be in a little sister position. And that is a great thing because you don't want to be a big sis all the time. Because I'm a big sis, I'm the oldest at home, and it's very difficult. And especially when you have nobody who's guiding you from, who's somebody who's really above you. Not above you, but who has the lead, especially when you don't know what you're doing. So it can feel very lonely. Also, you will make probably a lot of mistakes because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know the choice you make, which direction it will go, if it will go into the direction you want it to go. So that was my whole life basically. I was just making decisions, making it look like I knew what I was doing. In fact, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just hoping for the best. Now that I know, I have to do research, and at the time there was no internet, so you had no clue. But now I research things, I learn upon things, I practice, I study before I make a move. I also pray. When I was younger, I prayed, but I didn't really know how to pray. I didn't know what to ask for. Because these are things, they sound so simple, but what do you ask for? What do you speak over yourself? Do you know these things? What do you talk to? How do you talk to yourself? What do you tell yourself? So these are hard practices. But in this sisterhood, I want us to help one another to grow. Maybe you have a sister in here that, knows how to pray or knows how to read whichever religious book you follow. Ask her, can you help me? Can you help me understand this? Can you help me study? And maybe you two can do just a study meeting every week where you study your religious book and you learn and you grow. Maybe you have a sister here that can help you speak another language. Maybe you want to learn Spanish or French or English. Ask, can you help me with this? This is just, even though I'm setting the structure, I'm setting the foundation, within the foundation, you are free to talk to one another. You don't need me to hold your hand and ask a sister, can you help me? Or let's just have coffee together. I think that's the beauty of a sisterhood. It will work regardless. And I want you just to have the best experience within this group. And even though outside people claim they have sisterhoods, but most of the time it's toxic, that we sisterhood where we really value each other and where we honor one another and ourselves. So to go back to the rules, because I've added more rules. Let me get my phone. I'm really doing my best to set this up. As you can tell, I'm not sitting still. The first rule I had, you have to be a housewife. And I think I want to stick to housewife. I do not want stay-at-home moms within this group. I think these things are separate. Like I said, being a housewife means you serve your husband by helping him achieve his goals, help him wherever he needs help, and you are part of his journey instead of he's doing his thing and you are at home just taking care of the children. No, you are really a part of the journey. You are doing this with him. He could not do it without you. So that means you need a part of the proceedings. Matter of fact, you need also 50% of the proceedings, because you equally contributed to the success of your husband, which means the success of the whole family. So that's why I believe you should be a housewife when you come into this club. Secondly, we support, empower, and uplift one another. We come here, like I said, we help one another. You ask how you can serve, you ask how you can help, instead of criticizing and arguing. And I don't want that in the group. It might happen someday, but you should squash it immediately. You should be honest. And this is a hard one, because how can you be honest without hurting somebody or without that person feeling less than? But I believe we are smart enough, we are loving enough, and if we keep the second rule intact of upliftment, empowering and supporting one another, that other sister will understand that if you tell her something that is very vulnerable, she will receive it well, because she knows your heart. She knows you come from a good place, that you have the best intentions. I think that is most important. When you question somebody's intentions, that is when you don't receive their word well. So be honest, because that makes a person grow. Sometimes it can also they can become aware when you are honest. If you see somebody is really, like I said, losing a grip on their home or their health, you should be able to say honestly, like, sis, I see you are not okay. You don't have to tell me what's going on, but I see you're not okay. What can I do to help you? I want to help you. Please take my offer. What can I do to make sure you are okay? Where can I help you? What can I do? So, honesty. No gossip. We do not gossip about one another. It doesn't matter what is going on in the person's life, or what their husbands is doing, or what their children are doing, what their finances might be. No gossip. Help where you can help. Because even if the finances are not great, maybe your husband has a company and maybe they can use a new employee. We can look within our group how we can help one another. If somebody is struggling financially, ask your husband, hey babe, I'm in this sisterhood. One of the girls said their husband went bankrupt, or they have lost their company, or they have lost their job. Maybe you can help them, offer them something. She's a good woman. Her husband is doing the best he can. That is how we can help one another. So let's do that. And lastly is no competition. And these are the rules for now. I always say please add, because I cannot do it by myself. These are just the rules that I came up with for now. And probably every week I will be adding 1 or 2 more. But please do add to it. There is no competition. I think competition is something that is not good. It's good to be motivated. It's good to be inspired by, but to compete, to want to be the best, I think you should be the best you can be. You cannot compete or compare yourself with your sister. That's your sister. She has her talents and you have your talents. You might have similar talents, but still you can do your own thing. You should not be able to compete how much bookings you can have, or how much bookings she has, or she has more money. Because no, do what you can do. So we are not here to compete with one another. Like I said, I started the group, but that doesn't mean I want to be the top dog. I just do what the sisterhood asks from me. If my sisterhood asks me that I should take the lead for now, that is what I'm going to do. But there will be maybe a time where I will take a seat back. I might be pregnant, or I just might be going through, something. Life is life. And then I should be able to count on my sisterhood to take over and to step in. So there's no competition. We are just here to add. Everybody has their role. Everybody should take their own position. Everybody should feel called to do what they are called to do. This is my part. I'm being called to start the sisterhood. I'm being called to, get everything up and running and to be, for now, the face of the sisterhood. In a few years' time, I might be taken into another direction because the sisterhood is international. Like I stated in the beginning of the week, this is an international group because I feel that only Western women would not be good for the group. I think we can learn from all housewives across the world, because in the West it's very I think the world period is male dominated, but in the West there's a bigger stigma around being a housewife and everything that comes with that. And I've seen in other countries people value women differently. It looks differently, let me just put it like that. And I think we can learn from women from other countries, how they do it, how they build the sisterhood, how they interact with one another, and also for the fashion and beauty aspect, but even cooking. I mean, in the West, people don't cook as much as in other countries because everything is so available to us here. You can go out to dinner, you can have pre-made dinners, and there are services where you can order, such as HelloFresh and stuff like that, which I know in other countries, for instance third world countries, you cannot rely on these things. You really have to cook. So there are pros and cons in every culture, in every country, and we can all learn from one another. We are also in the West are really being rushed by time. Everything is time. In other countries there's more slow living. Life is just different, or the days are also maybe longer. In certain people wake up early, they have dinner very early, 1 o'clock. Between, let's say, 1 and 3, there's not really something going on. Everything's being closed. School's already out. Government offices are closed because it's too hot. So life picks up after 4 or 5 again, and people go out to the city. They're gonna have second dinner. So life is different because it's the tropics. And I know in Morocco and these other places, people go out till 1 for the same reasons. It's just too hot. So life is really slow. Whereas here, everything, oh wow, gotta go to school. School's till 3 or till 2. Even if you are in, let's say, middle school, you will have to go to school till 4. When you come home, you have to rush to go to practice. And after that, you come home, you have to rush to eat. And then you have to do your homework. And then you have to go to sleep. Just like it's a full day. Pum. There's not a lot of time to socialize, to unwind and relax and go sit with your family, have nice dinner, have conversations. Everything is being rushed. So we can learn a lot from other people and women around the world. So I hope you like that concept. I really am thinking about how can we get more women into the group. And that's also because it will be also depending on the effort that you put in. If you share the videos, if you talk about it with your friends, or maybe women that are also housewives. So like I said, I can only do so much. So if you know women that would like to join this fabulous club, you already know what I say. The best things in life are free. So give me something money cannot buy. And that's a like and a subscribe. And mostly share this video. Share with other friends. Share internationally. Share with your cousin that might live in Morocco, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Colombia, in Peru, in Jamaica. Share with them. Tell them there is a club of housewives and we want to connect with one another because we want to learn from one another. If you want to donate, because this is a non-profit organization, meaning it's a club, we will make sure that we get the budget, that we get the money that we need so that we can invest in events, tools, that we can also give to charity. That is all. We're gonna do it by ourselves. So we need donations. We need people who put money into the club, and it could be you. It could be €5. It could be €10. It could be millions. It really does not matter. We will make sure together, because it's transparent, how we want to invest the money, how we want to use the money to benefit the whole group. I always say maybe one of the sisters, their husband has passed away and she's struggling financially, and we can help her by just using the money we have in our little, in our budget, and maybe we can give her a nice amount that she and our children can be up and running. We can also maybe offer her a job within the sisterhood and give her a salary, even though this is non-profit, even though we are housewives. If we can help, we will help. We will figure it out. We will, if maybe funerals were not taken care of, we can do it. We can try and maybe raise funds for funerals if a husband didn't take care of that. We can also have financial people on this channel talk about how you can take care of funeral expenses before somebody dies and before you have to depend on other people to get the right insurance, to ask your husband, babe, we need to get this fixed. So stuff like that. That is what we need finances for. We need finances for travel. We need finance to get people on the channel. I was thinking about getting Elena Cordone also on the channel because she is a housewife. Now she's more on the platform and speaking more about how to support your husband and stuff like that. But initially she is a housewife. So maybe we can get her on. Not maybe, I want her on. I want her on. I want her on. I want her to talk about her experience and what she's doing now. I think it's very important that we stick up for one another, because almost every podcast that I look to, or all the things that are out there right now, are here to uplift working women and push women to start businesses and to be productive and to go find their dream job. Nothing wrong with that. But I do not feel that it's being catered to housewives, and they don't have to. These women are catering to their own. We as housewives should cater to our own women. There's enough space. We should not be harassing them and say, you should get us on. No. How can we as a group stick up for one another? Find the talents that we need that can uplift us as housewives. Which people do you want on? Which people do you want to, talk to? Is it Martha Stewart? Let's make it happen. I might not know how to make it happen, but you might know how to make it happen, or one of the sisters might know how to make it happen. If you want Savannah James on, let's make it happen. If you want somebody from the Middle East on, let's make it happen. Let's do it. Let's get the funds. Let's get the talents. Let's get the camera team. Let's go on to location and let's make it happen. Everything so that we can be the best that we can be, to the best of our abilities. That is the whole point of this sisterhood, that we can be and will be the best of our abilities by just getting the right inspiration, the right motivation, the right people that get us to the next level. And these people are out here. They are here. We just need to find them, reach out to them, and bring them on. Some way, somehow, my energy is getting lower and lower. I don't know, because it's very hot. I think Holland is going through a heat wave, and I feel like I'm getting mushy. So, hey, my boy is 3 years old now. He turned 3 this past weekend. We already went outside. Well, we will go to the market. We will go outside. Don't worry about it. But yes, I'm becoming a bit slow, so you might have noticed. I think I just need to relax a bit. I've been doing a lot. Maybe just have something to eat. I just ate, so I don't know why I'm this slow. But I'm just feeling it creep up. Maybe I should rest. Maybe I should do that once I pick the children up from school. Or maybe I just let, my husband is off from work today. Maybe I should let him take the children from school. Let's do that. Let me just go and rest. Yeah. But I love to see you here. I love being with you. I already told you that you are really a blessing to me. Already, ever since you guys, I don't like to say, ever since you women came into my life really drastically changed, and I am so motivated and inspired by you. You really pushed me to be the best version of myself. So now I have more input. I have my husband that is really giving me energy and keeping me up. Now I have more energy, because my husband doesn't care how I do my makeup. He knows that I did my makeup, but he will not notice the details. That is what I need you girls for, because you make me look so much better, and I know it's being appreciated when I just do my eyes a certain way. Okay, we are going. I will see you next week. Make sure you enjoy your summer holiday, because I'm gonna enjoy mine. If you are going on holiday, let us know. If you're coming to the Netherlands, let me know. Maybe we can meet up. Maybe we can. Why not? Let's hang out and conversate, because I want to meet you sisters. All right, I will go, and I will see you on Tuesday. I love you. Okay.